Alright, so I'm going to be comparing and figuring out which pastel has the most for the money that I've spent on these pastels. I'm gonna go from the cheapest to the most expensive, which currently the most expensive ones I have are Sennelier, and I actually have four different sets of these, but I'm only going to use the assorted colors because there's a variety of colors in there. I'm also going to test these pastels. I'm going to compare with these ones as well, and with these ones, with the portfolio pastels. Now these ones are water soluble, so I'm not going to use the water soluble aspect. I am just going to compare and contrast each of these pastels to see which ones shed the less, which ones cover the best without like eating through the pastel super quickly. So I'm going to draw the same picture with each of these sets of pastels, and I'm going to be comparing the shedding, I'm going to be comparing the color, the coverage, and the price. So I feel like the price really isn't all that fair though, because each of these is a vastly different price. This is the cheapest ones for $2.95. I did find these on not eBay, but on Amazon. However, I did not buy these. These were a gift from a friend. They were clearing out their art studio, and they gave me these as well as these ones. But I'm still gonna compare the pastels that I have. Once again, as I said at the beginning, I am not an expert on Oreo pastels. A few people were commenting that I'm wasting time comparing products that I don't know anything about. You know what? That's how you learn and figure things out. So I'm going to do it, and for those who want to watch, you can keep watching, and for those who don't want to watch, you can click away right now. So let's get to drawing out. I'm going to be using a woodless graphite pencil. To draw out my sketch. So let's get to it. Also, the sketchbook I am going to be using today I got from Amazon, and it is from Strathmore, and I have used pastels on it already, and I actually really like it for pastel paper. So I am going to be drawing out the same thing over the amount of pastels I have to review. So it will be a sunflower. A sunflower is simple. I feel, for my skill level, a sunflower is simple enough to sketch out the amount of times I need so that I can test out all of the different pastels. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to do 4 on one page and then 1 on the next. So, or I might do, 3 and then 2. I don't know. We'll figure that one out. So I'm going to fast forward during the sketching phase, and then we'll also speed through each of the coloring phases, and then I'll talk about which one I think shed the less, which one I think had the best coverage. I think I know who's gonna win, but I'm going to do this anyway because I'm actually really curious. So, and you don't figure things out unless you try things. So, I'm gonna get to sketching. Okay, so first up, I'm going to try out Niji. I've already tested like all of these in their own individual videos, but I am just testing them side by side now. And I'm going to speed through the coloring of each of these. Just to make the video like faster. So these are 24 oil pastels for $2.95. That is their price point. And these are the colors that come in here. Okay, so that is the Niji oil pastels done for the first coloring. So I'm going to speed through the rest of these and then we'll come back and we'll chat. So I'm going to go by the next less expensive ones, and that is these ones. are now done with the coloring of each of these sunflowers, and I'm gonna have to say this right now, I am genuinely surprised by each of these pastels. Shockingly, the one I thought would win is a close second to the ones that I think I like the most out of the pastel sets I currently own. I know there is a wide variety of other pastels out there that I don't have. I also know that my knowledge of pastels isn't all that expert right now, but I know what I know from what I've tested and what I have felt. I'm gonna say this right now, that between these two, the Nijis have won. For one thing, mostly for the vibrancy, and that's what I look for most in a pastel, is the coverage. And the reason I chose a sunflower is because I use yellow an awful lot in my artwork, so I figured using something that uses yellow is a good thing to test out, because I feel like some brands, as you can kind of see with these, the brightest yellow I used, I tried to layer over top. They didn't layer very well. Now, I choose these over Niji for the blendability, but I like Niji because you can layer. And that's what I was also testing, was how well they layer on top of each other without basically blending into the layer underneath. And that's kind of what happened here. I tried to layer the lightest yellow over top of the other yellows that I laid down. It didn't really, you can't really tell. Some sections, like this little part right here, you can see it, but not much. The blue did layer over all right with the blue detailing that I did, but I really like the Niji with how it layered between these two. Now, next up, here's where we start to get into the shedding. And what I mean by shedding is like when it like leaves little flakes, because I don't know how to get them off without smearing everywhere. I'm still figuring that one out. I'm surprised with the Artist Loft. They layered perfectly. They have a 10 out of 10 for me for the layering. And 9 out of 10 for the blending. And shedding was very, very minimal. It still shed. There's like still like bits and pieces of the pastel, but it did not shed nearly as bad as the portfolio ones did. And that was the other thing. These were next to no shedding whatsoever. And I really, really liked that one. The portfolio ones, they are $13.99 for 24, and they are 0.58 cents each per pastel. And for the Artist Loft, it was $5.99 for 36 pastels, making it 16 cents each. The Nijis were $2.95 for 24, making them 12 cents each. The Pro Art pastels are $4.99 for 24, making them 20 cents each. For the cost difference, I like these ones the best. There's not a lot of shedding. They layered well. The performance of the coloring was really good. These ones did feel smoother. These ones felt a little chalky, but that's okay because they layered on each other like really well. The only issue with these ones being a little more expensive is they shed a lot. And I don't know what makes them shed as much, but they shed a lot. These ones, I would choose these ones over the portfolio because look at that yellow. look at how bright the brightest yellow was for that. That was astronomical. I only wish there was a little bit more green, even for 36 colors. There wasn't a whole lot of green options. And then finally, we have the Sennelier, which have their own issues. For one thing, these were the only other ones I think that ate through themselves really fast were the Portfolio, the Pro Art, and Sennelier. They all ate through each other really quickly. However, I was able to layer on other previous layers perfectly. I mean, look at that yellow. That's great. Very minimal shedding. Still shed just a little bit, but very minimal. It does leave residue on the other page, which, you know, that's pastel. You can't really get away from that unless you use the spray, which I've been considering getting to try. They didn't really glide on as smooth. You had to like really press to get it to be smooth. I don't know if you can tell here. I was trying to be light, but like I had to really press into the page to get a smooth glide of the pastel. It does make the paper a little heavy. That's another thing I noticed. Like the paper's kind of heavy now with all the layers of pastel on it. But you know, that's very silly to try and do. But they are the absolute most vibrant out of all three. However, I think to do just basic everyday art, I'm going to use the Artist Loft pastels. Now, I understand there are other artists who are far more professional than I am who don't like the Artist Loft pastels, but I'm not really trying to become professional pastel art. I just want to start getting better at pastel art, and I'm gonna use these ones, I believe. Now I wanted to also do this so that you guys can figure out for yourself, out of the collection I have, which one you might want to try out. Now these ones are expensive. These are $59.87 currently on sale on jerrysartorama.com for a set of 24, which makes them a whopping $2.49 per pastel. Now, that is varied just because of the brand. I think these are one of the best brands as far as longer lasting artwork. So, I do like these Sennelier pastels. I'm going to continue to use them, but I'm going to use them to practice bigger art, not just like basic sunflowers like this. But I was just doing this exercise to figure out which ones I liked the most. And I think I figured out that to do just regular everyday sketching in the sketchbook, I'm going to use my Artist Loft pastels. I will, of course, not waste all these pastels. I will still use them for their own benefits. But, yeah. Hopefully you learned something. Or if not, I hope you at least enjoyed seeing me create the same sunflower over and over again. Each of them are different, but like, you know, it's a sunflower. So I do really like this sunflower the best out of all of them though. But yeah, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it somewhat useful, and I will hopefully see you guys on the next video. Alright guys, please take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. I hope to see you on the next video. Alright guys, much love, and I'll see you soon. I also wanted to say a huge, massive thank you to Gypsy Heart Crafts. She shouted me out, one of my comments out, in one of her most recent videos. She is an incredible artist and just an amazing person altogether. I'm going to link her in the little card pop-up here, so you guys can click that and go to her channel. She is an incredible person, and I'm also going to leave a video link at the end of this video for you to go find her channel as well. So thank you, Gypsy Heart Crafts. You are amazing, and I can't wait to see your next live stream. So alright guys, take care, and yeah. Hey guys, I wanted to do honorable mention, and I wanted to say a huge massive thank you to You Wreck and Carey for being members over on Patreon. They have been members now for quite some time, and I truly appreciate you guys. And if anybody else is curious onto the membership tiers and what goes on in Patreon, I have 3 tiers. I changed the $15 one down to $3, and the $3 tier, everything is unlocked. The only thing you don't get is the postcard in the mail. The $5 tier is where you get the postcard in the mail, and it's usually a print of mine. It's usually a random print every month, and it will be holographic. So, and those are actually no longer available for purchase, so the only way to get those is through Patreon. So if you are curious to becoming a member over on Patreon, that is what my Patreon is all about. And I hope you guys are well, and I hope to see you on the next video. Hopefully this video was relatively decent. I will be putting the Morgan Freeman art back to being not unlisted so that you guys can see it again, but I need to get part 2 done so that both parts are up, because right now there's only part 1, and the end of the video I clearly stated in the video that it was not done. So yeah, Morgan Freeman will be back up soon, but I don't know when, because colored pencils take a very long time for me. So yeah, I hope you guys are well, and I hope to see you on the next video. Alright guys, bye.